It doesn't matter if you have the freedom to express yourself on the moon when no one's listening. What's important is that people have the ability to communicate.
I think the question that we should be asking is, would you rather accept the threat of a terrorist attack, or keep the ability to communicate freely?
Some bloggers or some just users of Facebook and Twitter have been sentenced to jail or have faced prosecution charges for intimidation charges, so it's a mixed picture.
Everyone has the right to freedom of speech, which includes the right to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any means, regardless of borders. This right is incorporated in international and regional human rights legislation, and it is divided into three parts: the freedom to seek information and ideas, the right to receive information and ideas, and the right to transmit information. International, regional, and national norms also recognize that the right to freedom of expression covers both the content and the methods of expression. Freedom of speech is the right to express one's belief and ideas without interference or reprisal from the government. It is basically an act of right to express themselves in whichever way they see to fit. The term speech refers to expression that encompasses much more than simply words, such as what a person wears, reads, performs, protests, and so on.
Freedom of speech is important nowadays because it is a fundamental human right that allows people to express their opinions and feelings without fear of repercussion. It offers several advantages including responsibility, self-confidence, creativity, and it also helps in national progress. It is critical to guarantee that fascism is not pushed in the name of liberty. People's input may be used by political leaders to effect improvements in their social and economic life. It is also linked to higher levels of democracy, social stability, and peaceful conflict resolution. Due to poverty, prejudice, and cultural considerations, minorities, particularly refugees, face barriers to freedom of speech. As restrictions to free expression exist all throughout the world, national, regional, and international guidelines are required to solve this. This will lead to progress in democracy, since everyone is involved in what is going on in the country via their thoughts and activities, because they are aware of what is happening, and for some, they use their voice to advocate what they think is right for the betterment of everyone.
In some regions, freedom of speech is not well tackled that leads to misunderstandings that freedom of speech is taken as a negative act. The three common issues in the field of free speech are: first, hate speech. Hate speech is when individuals make statements that are highly offensive and cause significant distress to others. Such behavior is not acceptable and is known to promote discrimination, harassment, and violence against certain groups. Governments have a responsibility to prevent individuals from abusing their right to free speech to spread messages of hate and violence against particular groups. While it is necessary to uphold freedom of expression, measures must be taken to curb hate speech and safeguard vulnerable groups. In ensuring the protection of freedom of expression, governments must also strive to prevent hate speech and other forms of harmful communication that can threaten social cohesion and individual well-being. Being aware of the given issues requires action to help improve and imply a better freedom of speech for our well-being. As a solution to this, holding hate speech on platforms accountable is the answer. Inform the platforms of the site owner of given blogs or videos and demand action. If given the opportunity, be clear about what you find unacceptable and why. Doing so will raise people's awareness of the problem.
Second is the spread of fake news that is a significant problem that can have dire consequences, particularly in the current age of digital media where information can propagate at a breakneck pace. The widespread dissemination of false information can lead to confusion, mistrust, and even violence in certain cases. While individuals have the right to hold and express their opinions, they are not entitled to mislead others through the intentional dissemination of false information. It is incumbent on government and responsible stakeholders to take measures to prevent the spread of fake news, such as fact-checking, media literacy campaigns, and regulation of social media platforms. In tackling the issue of fake news, it is essential to balance the right to free expression with the need for accurate and responsible information dissemination, ensuring that individuals are not deceived or misled by the intentional spread of false information. To prevent this issue, evaluate the source of the latest information you check because some news sites have their own benefit to push. Check the author of the site to see if they are credible. You should also look for evidence to confirm the accuracy of the news they are reporting because fake news sources often use information from these reputable news sources while adding false information to mislead the viewer.
And lastly, online harassment is another prevalent problem that has arisen with the growth of the internet. People can use the anonymity provided by the online environment to engage in harmful behavior such as cyberbullying or hate speech, which can significantly harm a person's mental health. While it is essential to protect freedom of speech, there is also a need to ensure that individuals are not subjected to harassment or other harmful behavior. The best way to overcome this issue is to simply avoid interactions with the harasser to prevent deeper problems.
Freedom of speech is a right we hold dear, a freedom to express thoughts without fear, to speak up against what we disagree, and voice our opinions loud and clear. It's a right that had been hard fought and won, a battle that's never truly done. But it is a liberty that we must protect to ensure our voices are never silenced or wrecked. For our freedom of speech gives us power, allows us to be heard in each and every hour, to challenge authority and advocate change, to push for equality and make a range. So let us hold tight to this right and never allow it to be taken out of sight, for it is a foundation of our democratic way and the heartbeat of our society each day.
The right to express our thoughts and views is a freedom that we all possess, a fundamental right that we cherish, a liberty that we must not suppress. But with this right comes the duty to use our words with respect and care, to acknowledge the rights of others, and ensure our message is fair and clear. Let us celebrate our diversity and embrace every voice we hear, for it is through our differences that we make a choice and persevere. Let us use this power judiciously to create a better world and inspire, for freedom of speech is not only a right, it is also a responsibility to aspire.
Freedom of speech is a right that we have. It is our voice to speak, to write, and to express, and it is our right to not be oppressed. But be careful. We must think before we speak, unless we want to be restricted. Free speech is highly valuable. A hefty price to pay if you're not careful about what you say. Don't bother if hate speech is what comes out of the mouth. Don't even think of insulting or degrading someone. However, it is our right to express our opinions, as long as what we say is valid words in arguments and not some uneducated